All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? It's if you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned into a very special edition of the HFWB podcast series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me today, I have a very special gentleman who has quickly become a great friend of mine due to some mutual connections that we have in the community. And one thing for sure is that the guest who I'm about to bring on, he's had quite a journey, but he's definitely in a phase of his life to where he's feeling comfortable and he's able to relax and be more at home, so to speak. And that's kind of what we all try to strive towards for at the end of the day, which is why I always like the whole theme of health, fitness, wealth, business is basically the wealth business part, business ownership, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. And I mean, making that transition from being an employee to doing it your own thing as an entrepreneur or business owner can be a challenge. And we're going to break that all down in this very special edition. But back to the guest who I'm about to bring on. He's basically a former man of the army. He's a former handyman being involved in construction. He's has a background a little bit in doing some engineer work, right? Now he's transitioning into the business ownership side of things. I mean, he's the owner of basically the Thomas Exxon Automotive Repair Shop located here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I don't know if y'all knew this or not. It's basically been serving Corpus Christi, Texas and the surrounding area since 1962. I mean, the staff are experts. They're honest, reliable. They provide the best quality repair and services, but I'll let my guest explain that a little bit more. He's also the owner of End Zone Sports Corpus Christi, where basically their mission is basically to provide well-organized youth sports programs, allowing the kids to play a sport that they love in a safe and fun environment. I mean, who doesn't love that? And again, I'm going to let my guest break that down a little bit more. With that being said, if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, I want to introduce Mr. Gilberto Quinones to the HFWB podcast series. With that being said, how's things going, man?
Hey, Clifton, thank you so much for inviting me, man. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to share anything that I can share and hopefully be helpful to your audience and anybody out here in Corpus Christi. There's a lot of work to be done, but I'll be happy to share my experience in so far.
Right, and it's true. I mean, we all of us as individuals within this course of life, we all have come a long way, but at the same time, we have a long way to go. But speaking about that long way you've come so far, for those who are listening to the HFWB podcast series, right, and who is wondering who is Gilbert Quinones, what do you do, etc., kind of break that down for the people who are brand new to the program.
Sure thing. So we can start where I'm at right now and kind of trace back a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
why take them down a trip down memory lane for sure.
Yeah, so I'm a business owner here in the community in Corpus Christi. I currently have two companies. Plus, I do a little bit of real estate, which I'm on. So eventually, it'll be three companies here pretty soon that I'll be involved with. The main one, the one that pays the bills, it's Thomas Exxon. It was an existing business here in town, long time, like you said, from the '60s. When I was doing the research to buy it, it was just a great company that I really wanted to be a part of. You know, they've already been doing a lot of great work, great mechanics, outstanding reputation in the community, and this just that's something definitely want to be involved and bring my expertise and my skills to kind of take it to a next level. And also the other company is Endzone Sports, which is kind of like my my baby, right? This one is like the one I get to grow. This one I get to also give a lot back to the community. I get to impact young children and help them grow and develop into the skills. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about being part of this, two companies and grow these two companies. And I've been doing this since 2021, middle of 2021, so a little over 2 years. And before that, I was just like everybody, like a lot of people out there, I was a W-2 employee. So there was, that transition period there. The main
Right.
reason, the main reason was I wanted to be here in the community for a few years instead of traveling. I used to travel a lot. So I had done the industrial engineer field construction, which is basically we build big projects. It takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, depends on the project. And we bring the teams, we build it up, and then we go and build another one. So it's a lot of fun, but it's tough on the family. It's tough on me. It's a lot of work. So it was just time to move on and kind of pave my own way. Business ownership was always something that I wanted to do, so I decided to give it a try.
Yes, and that's incredible that you kind of took on that challenge within yourself to where it's like, okay, I did the W-2 employee lifestyle and everything, and that was cool and everything, but I wanted to do something to a certain extent that was bigger than me with the overall vision as far as what I want to do for the community. And sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands and kind of make that transition and basically being your own boss and basically be in your own business, man, to a certain extent, to where you're basically handling your business. Describe that transition for you, Gilbert, as far as that overall experience of where it's like, okay, I did enough of the, of course, employee lifestyle. Now I want to basically be my own boss and basically just take on running a business.
Right. Well, I mean, the key word here is it's definitely scary. So don't let anybody else, if you feel that way,
oh yeah,
perfectly natural, right? I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I was top performing at my skill set that I have. It's kind of specific, and I was doing pretty well. I kind of just stopped one day and realized, all right, so this is the path. I'm gonna be this next level manager and then project manager and things like that. But it was just something that I kind of realized I didn't want to be doing. Those guys are putting a lot of hard hours. They're on the road. They're there Saturday. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of fun, but it's just not like it almost for me was the end of the road. So I had to take a look within myself, right, and then realize, what, my priority at the time was to be in the community, to be here. And that was a great motivation for me to just kind of transition and start looking what are the best options for me in my situation with the family, and I can't just give up on the income, right? I have to provide.
Of course, without a doubt.
So I was reading a few books. There was a couple of books that helped me make a decision, but I quickly realized the key to transition in my situation was to take on an existing business. So then the plan, once I had that in mind, then it was how do we accomplish that, right? So you have the goal in mind. I still have my steady job, but then I made a plan. And there's programs and things that can help you transition over. It's not as hard as people think. If you do the research and if you commit and then go through it and have a good plan, find a good company that's a good fit for you. So in my situation, I'm not an expert in mechanics. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not extremely knowledgeable in auto repair, but I can leverage my, mechanics. I've been doing this for many, many years, to do the actual mechanical work. I can use my other skill sets to grow the company, to help the company, and as a team, we can improve.
No, and from that approach you just described, Gilbert, it's like you're basically putting the people who are smarter than you in that exact field and that expertise to help your overall business continue to thrive and everything. You brought up something interesting as far as just buying an existing business. It's kind of like, it's in a way, it's like you're kind of investing in it to a certain extent as far as putting some money down as far as the overall purchase within itself and seeing what kind of return that you can get out of that. And it's like, it's a good transition as far as going within, like they call like the cash flow quadrant from like Robert Kiyosaki and stuff, like the E, the S, the B, and the I and stuff. It's kind of like you kind of took a walk from the E all the way down to the S, and you kind of worked your way into the I, and now it's like you kind of brought it back all the way to the B to a certain extent. And you're kind of learning a little bit of as far as each one, as far as the quadrants and stuff. I mean, it's a never-ending journey, and it's always something new you can learn every single day. And it's like, it takes a certain drive to, of course, even want to take on that journey within itself. Where does that drive to want to do all of this come from within yourself, Gilbert?
Well, that's a good question. I guess couple factors, right? So my kids, I have a teenage son that at the time he's lived in Kingsville, so it's my why I want to be in the area. Then I have
Right.
another son that lives with me. He's 6 years old.
Okay.
So leaving a legacy that just you know motivates me, right? So I want to be here, and I want to kind of lead the way and kind of show them through my accomplishments what that you what you can do if you put your mind to it. So
I
that
love
definitely that's definitely a big factor. Another factor, just growing up, I always try to do I was a good student. um, I always, my family, my mom was always, like, hey, you got to do the right thing. You got to try hard. So definitely in my mind, it's always if I'm not, being a top performer and not, I'm just not happy. I like to succeed and do the best that I can,
yeah.
and it just kind of work out, right? If you just
Yeah.
put in the work and be smart about it, things will work out. It's not easy, but why should it be easy? It should be hard. It should be, but if you do the right things, you are going to be successful for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It just comes down to just utilizing the time wisely and just utilizing the tools and the resources around you just to create that success and generate continuing flows of success to where it's beneficial not only for yourself but beneficial for basically everyone around you and stuff. And it's like you mentioned the very key part that I kind of find very interesting as far as just leaving behind a legacy and everything. And it's kind of an interesting transition and segue that I want to get into based on, for those who are basically listening to the audio version of the HFWB podcast series and are not watching the YouTube version, Gilbert is basically wearing one of his shirts. And basically on the logo of the shirts, it's his one of his other companies that he mentioned, which he is the owner and area director of. It's the End Zone Sports Corpus Christi. And when I saw that originally, Gilbert, I thought of what you just said, which was just leaving behind a legacy, because what you're doing, you're giving these kids an opportunity to basically put their toes in the tub to leave their own legacy behind just for in the community as far as what they accomplished and everything and all that. And I just it. I remember I was just there like what 2 days ago, just watching the league and stuff and like watching the games and everything, and I was like, man, these kids are just they love what they do. They're into it. The parents are into it. It's just like a nice family friendly, fun
Right.
environment. Keyword having fun. What made you want to come up with the End Zone Sports Corpus Christi, and how far do you see this overall mission and purpose of it going within the community and maybe beyond that even?
A great question. So, to be honest, I did not. That was not part of the plan to have two businesses.
It's
At
always
the
something
same
that's not part of
not,
the plan that
not just
becomes a
kind of,
plan.
but what happened while I was searching for an existing business, I encountered Enson Sports. So Enson Sports is a franchise. It's a nationwide franchise. So I cannot take the credit for creating the concept.
Oh,
This
of
was
course.
this was created in Florida by our CEO Tony Westbrook. But when I encountered this company, it was not at the time. It was right after COVID, so there was no business being done.
Mm,
But it was for sale, and they had been doing work at a preschool. But the moment I started learning a little bit about it, I immediately knew that I wanted to be part of it, and I could take it to the next level. Plus, I didn't have Exxon at the time; that was not in the radar. I was searching, so I was like, you know what? Well, I can start with this, and then give this a try until I found something bigger, a bigger business that can maintain my lifestyle that I already had, the commitments that I already had. But this
mhm.
was something that I could grow. And like I said, I definitely immediately wanted to be part of it, just because I already had, like I told you, my son. So I was involved in sports. I wish there was more opportunities for him growing up, because he's not the most athletic guy, but he does like sports. He does like to try, and
Okay.
in his area, just the opportunities were not there. And there's a lot of problems with youth sports that I see in some sports. We're trying to fix that, and like I said, I wanted to be part of it, and it's just now that I'm doing it, it's just a great, that energy. You can almost harness it and use it, and it kind of carries me through the week. Instead of being work, I'm there on Sunday, but I see the kids, and you can kind of feed off all that energy. It kind of just drives you throughout the week to the other businesses. It's just great. It's great feedback. It just feels so good to be able to provide this for the community, be able to provide jobs for college students, be able to provide jobs for other people. Plus, so it's like a win-win situation for everybody. So I'm very, very lucky to be part of.
Yes, without a doubt. And for all the, parents who may be listening here, not only just here in Corpus Christi, Texas, but just all around Texas, all around the country, etc., kind of describe as far as what kind of sports, what kind of activities does End Zone Sports Corpus Christi actually provide as far as to help make those moments for the kids that much more enjoyable?
Absolutely. So we decided to start the first 2 years at the root, hardly anybody was doing it. There's another company that does soccer, but we started at the preschool level. So we're talking about 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, all the way to 6-year-olds.
Okay.
So we go to these preschools once a week. I wish we could go more, but this kind of how the program works out. And the kids that sign up with us, we introduce those little ones to youth sports. We like to rotate sports every month. So we introduce soccer, basketball, t-ball, flag, a little bit of football, different things. We do drills about where they have to balance, agility ladder, everything in a fun way. But they're still developing. A lot of them they never done sports before, so it's just the curriculum is geared so they can have fun, they can move around, they can throw the ball. It's nothing crazy, just basic stuff, but keeping it fun and just exposing them to general sports. That way, later in life, they can decide what they want instead of being told like, oh, you must do soccer because that's what I'm signing up for. They can kind of get exposed and they can be like, oh yeah, no, I play. You ask them now and they're like, oh yeah, I know basketball, I know football, I know t-ball. So it's great. I wish I would have had that. I wish my sons would have been exposed to that when they were growing up. But hey, we have this opportunity to bring this to the community, and it's great feedback. We have a great retention rate. Parents love it. We take pictures every time we go. We share with the parents, so they really appreciate that. That we go out there and then we provide this. We give them medals. Here's an example. Man, they love these medals. You just keep them. They just stay motivated and some of these kids, we even have them in the league that you witnessed a few days ago. They actually, some of them aged out of the program, and now we had to see them again in these leagues, which is the purpose. They finished the preschool program. Now they're exposed, not afraid. They can say like, yeah, I did End Zone Sports at my daycare. I know about basketball, so I'm not scared to get out there and play some basketball. They're not intimidated because they play with us. They know our company. They know the coaches. So
I love it. It's like you're giving them options as far as what you just described. It's kind of like what my dad used to do with me growing up as a kid. He kind of introduced me to all these sports with him being like a coach himself, having that coaching and teaching background and education behind it and stuff. He kind of gave myself the opportunity to pick, hey, which sport do you want to play? There's football, there's baseball, there's basketball, tennis, golf. I remember we used to play all these sports together growing up to where it's like, it feels good to have options, right? It's like, instead of being like told, oh, you're only going to play this and only this because it's part of the family, it's part of the tradition, all this kind of stuff. Let the kids have a little bit of options. Maybe they don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe they want to do a little bit of everything just so they can figure out where they do fit in the most. To where it's like, oh, I'm not good at t-ball, but hey, I can play basketball, or vice versa, just with any sports in general. And it's like doing all this just for the love of the community and just doing it all, most importantly, with just making the right investments in the right businesses and stuff like that. And based just off of your overall journey, as far as just what you described as far as transitioning from the W-2 employee to basically just being an investor slash business owner by investing into the right businesses and stuff like that. For those who want to be in the position that you're in and don't know necessarily how to exactly do that, what would be 3 key pieces of advice you would tell them based off of your overall experience and expertise that you've gained up that you're still building on to this very day?
You mean so 3 key? So if you're a W-2 employee right now, what 3 key things?
Yeah, they're trying to like transition out of doing that to say like basically like maybe buying their own business, starting their own business, etc. What would be 3 key pieces of advice you would tell them as far as to help them start that transition?
Right. So number one, you already gotta be financially responsible, right? If you're a W-2 employee, there's no reason why you shouldn't have some savings. You're gonna need them. If you're gonna be an investor, you also gotta be able to save. So uh, you gotta teach yourself financial responsibility.
Yes.
So that'll be number one, right? You gotta have the basics down until you can be decent at that. It's gonna be tough for you to grow or tough to do anything or to catch a lucky break, right? So
Right.
financial responsibility will be number one. I will go with education. You can start getting educated right now. There's a lot of information out there. YouTube, you can just Google it. There's books. That's how I started.
Yeah.
I started reading a book about. I would recommend existing businesses just because you bypass the statistics, right? A lot of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. So just by the fact that you buy an existing one, you kind of skip that. So there's a few books out there that talk about this subject. So education, financial responsibility. I think those are the main ones. I don't have 3, but
that's fine. I mean,
financial responsibility is really what are the, I guess, drive. You kind of have to find it within yourself, and it's gonna be scary. But
No, those are great key pieces of advice. And for anyone who's listening and who wants to know how they can make that transition, they should definitely rewind that part because you do have to be financially responsible and basically financially intelligent. You got to be able to manage your money wisely and make sure you have money put away to where you can cover those expenses and anything that may come up that you may not expect. And at the same time, there is a whole bunch of research and books that you can look into and read and everything to kind of give you a little bit of a blueprint or a formula to follow to where you can create your own ultimate success formula or blueprint for other people to follow. And it can be like a never ending effect from that perspective. And yeah, it all comes down to just having that drive to want to do it and just knowing when to put your foot on the gas pedal and when to ease off the gas pedal at the end of the day. It's all well said, Gilbert, and actually, it's something that will definitely be valuable for all the listeners as well. But with that being said, we're actually at the point, where I ask all the people who come on my podcast, right, a certain amount of questions just to give
all
the
right.
people who are listening the opportunity to know the person a little bit more. So we'll start off with this first question that I have. What is the first thing you do or think of every single day that you wake up?
I'm grateful. There's I try to think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Try to take
Um,
3 different things that are specific to the day. But if not, I can always go back to my family, my health. There's so many things to be thankful for. So that's really how I start my day.
No, I mean, it's funny how you mentioned you think of 3 things that you're grateful for every day because I myself, Gilbert, first thing I do within like probably the first hour of every single day I wake up, I always do like a little bit of a journal entry. And, it goes back to just, I would definitely recommend this book to you, Gilbert, if you haven't read it yet. It's called The Miracle Morning by Al Harad. He talks about the Savers Method, and it's like silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and scribing, which is, of course, writing. I always do a journal entry every morning, and I always write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every single day. First one, of course, being I'm thankful that God has allowed me the opportunity to wake up and see another day, and then I switch it up with 2 different ones every single day. So it's great. It's great to hear you always practice gratitude because it's important to do that without a doubt. My next question, Gilbert, when it comes to like health and wealth, right? I feel like health is wealth and they're like both two sides of the coin. They kind of go hand in hand a little bit. But in your own eyes, Gilbert, what is your personal definition of health and wealth?
That's a good question. Um, well, um, I'm gonna go with kind of being happy and grateful of what you're doing. Because if in my case, I know I'm doing it's hard, but I know I'm doing the right things. I know I'm mentally where I need to be, where I'm using my energy. When I wake up, I'm happy to go and do the attack the day, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the wealth will come if you're doing those things. If you're being efficient, if you're making an impact, kind of like givers gain, right? So the more I
Yeah.
give, the more I gain back. So I put out a great league, for example. People are gonna want to be part of it. People are gonna pay the fees happily because they know they're gonna get a lot of value back. Same thing with the shop. We put out a great product. We put out, we do all these things with the oil change. It's not just a quick oil change. We take care of you. We look out for things in your car for free, and then people just keep coming back to us, and they're just so happy. So that wraps it up, right? I think if you're mentally healthy and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the money will come.
Yeah, without a doubt. I definitely agree with that 100%. What makes a great business owner slash investor in your own eyes, Gilbert?
Um, Process and got
Mm,
to rely on your team. So I am the first to admit, the first day there, I'm like, hey, I don't know. As a matter of fact, I don't know much. I'm here to learn from you. So I rely on my team. I go to the shop and guys, here's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Let me get the feedback. Now, I might do what they tell me to do, but certainly I consider it because they've been doing that a lot longer. I bring different perspective, but as a team, we come out with solutions.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. Teamwork makes the dream work every single time. Now we're going to transition to a little bit of a segment I call either or, where I'm going to ask you which one you would choose out of the one just to kind of pick your brain a little bit more, Gilbert. First
sure.
one I'm going to do is loyalty or respect.
Respect.
Gotcha, gotcha. Would you rather live in space or live in the ocean?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with space.
Mm. Would you rather have unlimited free meals at your favorite restaurant or unlimited first class tickets?
First class tickets.
Mm. Would you rather be famous and poor or anonymous and rich?
Famous and poor, anonymous and rich. Let's go with anonymous and rich.
Would you rather dance to every song or sing to every song?
Definitely dance.
Now, picture this scenario, Gilbert, right? You're on a deserted island, trapped, have nowhere to go, but you had the opportunity to listen to five of your favorite music artists. It doesn't matter what the genre is, it can be their whole entire catalog. Who would those five artists be?
Oh, I don't listen to music that much, but yeah, it'll have to be more on the countryside. So Randy Rogers. Who else? Well, let me go on my playlist here. I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit.
No, that's fine. With all means, pick five of your favorite music artists out of your playlist who you would listen to with their whole catalog. It's all good.
For sure. So I like Cody Jinks, Aaron Watson, Turnpike Troubadours. So you kind of uh, get the theme here.
Yeah, a little bit of ain't nothing wrong
Tom
with a little
Petty.
bit of country
Yeah,
music.
yeah, kind of Texas country for
There's
sure.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with country music at all because you learn a lot of things from listening to country music
Yeah,
too. And it just,
I really enjoy dancing it too. So it's pretty nice.
yeah, a little bit of country, a little bit of dance. You'll have yourself a nice little chilled, relaxing party until someone comes along and notices, hey, what's going on over there? And then they'll probably swing on by, have a good time with you, and get you off of that deserted island at the end of the day. So overall, when it comes to, I mentioned, the meals and first class tickets and all that, what would be your favorite go-to meal?
Definitely tacos. I mean, I'm growing up in the valley. Um, this is kind of like a must-have, and there's so many ways you can make it. So many uh, delicious combinations. That's definitely
What,
the
what,
go-to.
what would be your go-to taco?
Oh, well, it's the ones from the valley. It's the little ones. I don't know if you can get them here in Corpus, but there's the little steak tacos with cilantro and onion. And
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
they
about.
usually come in like six of them. Uh,
Right, right.
I'm
I
sure
think
there's a spot here. I just can't find it. When I get to go visit my family down there, I definitely take
it's,
advantage.
it's
But
definitely one of those hidden gems, without a doubt, that we just got to search for deep into. I mean, we feel like we got exclusive access, so to speak. Now, as far as all the places you've traveled to overall, if you, of course, I can imagine you've done some traveling in your time, without a doubt. Where's the favorite place that you've traveled to thus far, and where's a place you would like to travel to that you haven't been to yet?
um, I lived in Orlando. I had a lot of fun down there, so I
Hmm.
like Florida. It's pretty nice.
Okay,
People,
okay.
the weather, everything. I would like to travel probably South America. That's where I need to
Hmm.
go next.
Okay,
I speak the
okay.
language,
Get a
so
little bit of cultural heritage going on. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. There is nothing wrong with that at all. So overall, we're all busy individuals. I myself, you are as well, without a doubt. Whenever you're not doing all the things you're doing on a regular basis, what are some of like your favorite hobbies that you like to do, Gilbert, that many people may not know you like to do?
well, before kids, I enjoyed training MMA before my little one came around. So
Mm,
that just relieves a lot of stress. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot. You can never catch up because there's so much to learn.
oh yeah,
Um,
wow.
my hobbies, to be honest, nowadays it's I spend any time with my kid. My 6-year-old that I have
Mm.
left. If I'm not working or learning, listen to some podcasts, then I spend playing with my kid, just hanging out with my kid.
No, you're doing exactly what every real father is supposed to do whenever they do have kids, is spending every single moment with the child, without a doubt, and just being there for them in those special times, in those special moments. And it's kind of like what you alluded to earlier, Gilbert. It's like you want to leave behind a legacy, and you want to have your kid understand the importance of that, to where they can create their own legacy and have something to leave behind as well long after you're gone. So that's definitely understandable, without a doubt. Last question I have for you before, as we wrap everything up. The first, imagine if you had the opportunity to go back in time, right, and talk to yourself, say 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself? And at the same time, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I should have told myself to read Rich Dad Poor Dad or one of those many books. Great books out there. Start reading. That's what I start reading sooner.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. And where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I see myself here in the community, giving back. Probably, hopefully, uh, more established. Maybe 5 business by then, right? And
You
just kind
never
of
know. You never know. There's nothing wrong with growing and expanding, without a doubt. That's some good stuff, Gilbert. Real good stuff for anybody who wants to, get in contact with you. Of course, about anything as far as you do, or just get in contact, of course, with Thomas Exxon Automotive Repair Services, or get involved with End Zone Sports Corpus Christi. How can they get in contact?
our websites. So you can go to thomasexon.com and you can schedule an appointments. You can see what we're about. You can come visit us. We're on Alameda and Doddridge. I'm usually there. If not, my great service writers will take care of you. You can give us a try. You won't regret it. For Enson Sports, we also have Enson Sports Corpus Christi. You can type that in. We have a Facebook where we usually share stuff that's happening, and also the website if you want to register your children for the upcoming leagues. We're going to have basketball and soccer coming up. So.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. And I guarantee you, for those who are looking for something different, you won't be disappointed within that. If you love fun, family friendly environments, this is the End Zone Sports Corpus Christi is the place for you. You heard it here first on the HFWB podcast series, and like Gilbert said, you won't be disappointed. But with that being said, it's like, if you haven't learned anything from this episode, it's just the importance of just getting involved with your community and trying to make a difference and make an impact. And it comes down to just empowering the community, uplifting the community, inspiring the community, and most importantly, just healing the community and uniting everybody together as one versus killing everybody off one by one, which is something we could definitely do without. With that being said, I thank you so much, Gilbert, for just making time out of your busy schedule to simply just bless us with an appearance on the HFWB podcast series. I enjoyed it, man.
Thanks, Clifton. Thanks for the time. Thanks for inviting me.
No, of course, without a doubt. And with that being said, this is your host, Clifton Pope, and I encourage everybody to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.